Sony has just quietly rolled out an internal update to the upcoming Sony A7V, and what's buried beneath the surface could seriously change the way you look at this camera before making your next big purchase. Fresh leaks surfacing less than 3 days ago have sparked intense speculation across the photography community, and the fact that Sony hasn't officially addressed these details yet makes it even more intriguing. According to reliable industry insiders, the Sony A7V isn't exactly what we all thought it was going to be. Hidden within recent certification filings are clues that shed light on Sony's real strategy, suggesting that the company might be rushing this model to market in response to growing competition, especially from Canon's highly anticipated EOS R6 Mark III. This marks one of the most unpredictable and controversial rollouts in Sony's alpha lineup history, with sources close to the matter describing internal panic mode meetings as Sony scrambles to regain control over the narrative. These leaks, though initially dismissed as speculation, now align too perfectly with Sony's recent moves to be coincidence. And if you've been considering an upgrade to the A7V, you might want to pause and dig into what's actually going on before you hit that pre-order button. What's been uncovered is far more than just another spec leak. It's a glimpse into how Sony plans to position itself in the next generation of mirrorless cameras. It all started when certification documents appeared in global regulatory databases, which are mandatory for consumer electronics prior to release. Nestled within the technical paperwork was a model identification code instantly recognizable to those who've tracked Sony's alpha releases, a breadcrumb trail that unmistakably led to the A7V. But what's causing the biggest stir isn't just the existence of the camera, it's the timing. Canon's next-gen R6 Mark III is scheduled for a November 6th announcement, and within days of that news hitting the internet, Sony's paperwork began rapidly moving through approval systems worldwide. Analysts are calling this the strategic pivot, a rushed marketing move designed to steal Canon's spotlight right as the holiday buying season ramps up. When a company as meticulous as Sony suddenly breaks from its usual pattern, it's rarely accidental. And what's hidden in these filings explains exactly why they're doing it. Inside those confidential documents lies a technical detail that completely shifts expectations for what the A7V truly is. The original assumption was that it would be a bold leap forward, a professional-grade hybrid powerhouse merging cutting-edge video and still performance into a single, refined body. But the specs now tell a more cautious story. The A7V, according to verified leaks, will feature a 33-megapixel full-frame BSI-CMOS sensor, which sounds impressive until you realize it's a slightly upgraded iteration of the same sensor from the A74, not a brand new design. Sony has introduced what they're calling a partially stacked sensor architecture that boosts readout speeds by roughly 20%, reducing rolling shutter and improving overall dynamic range to about 14 stops. Dual base ISO up to 106,400 will deliver stronger low-light performance, making this camera more versatile in challenging conditions. On paper, it's a respectable evolution, but not a revolution. Missing from this spec sheet are major innovations like a true global shutter, or a high-resolution mode exceeding 40 megapixels, which many landscape and commercial photographers were hoping for. One insider summed it up perfectly. It's safe, but uninspired. And that sentiment captures the broader issue. Sony seems to be playing defense rather than pushing creative boundaries. Still, where Sony traditionally shines is autofocus, and the A7V continues that legacy with some significant intelligence upgrades. Borrowing directly from the flagship A9 III, this model incorporates advanced AI-based subject recognition, capable of identifying humans, animals, birds, vehicles, and even insects with precision tracking. Burst shooting hits 2024 FPS in electronic. Shutter mode with blackout-free EVF performance, highly efficient. For action or wildlife photographers, yet it still falls short of Canon's teased 40 FPS on the upcoming R6 Mark III. That difference may sound minor, but in high-speed professional environments, those extra frames can make or break a shot, and Sony knows it. Insiders claim this performance gap is precisely why Sony accelerated its launch schedule, to get the A7V into the spotlight before Canon's new camera can overshadow it. Moving to video, things get equally interesting. The leaked details confirm that the A7V supports uncropped 4K at 60 FPS with 10-bit 4.2.2 internal recording, along with support for S-Log3, S-Cinetone, and 1080p at 120 FPS for detailed slow motion, essentially covering every key spec hybrid creators expect today. However, there's a notable omission: no 8K video. No OpenGate 7K recording either. This is reportedly a deliberate choice to avoid thermal throttling and overheating, something Sony has struggled with in previous models. To address this, they've integrated better passive heat dissipation and even plan to release an optional active cooling grip accessory that attaches beneath the camera body. That's a clear sign that Sony wants to emphasize reliability and consistency over raw spec dominance, but it also makes the A7V appear conservative next to competitors that are pushing boundaries. As for the camera's physical design, Sony seems to have focused heavily on usability refinements. The A7V reportedly includes a stunning 5.5 million dot OLED electronic viewfinder, a major step up from the A7IV's 3.68 million dot EVF, and a fully articulating 3-inch, vari-angle LCD touchscreen with a resolution bump to 1.62 million dots. The chassis, built from magnesium alloy, promises improved durability and dust resistance, while still maintaining a lightweight form factor ideal for travel and field work. Unfortunately, there's still no upgrade to flash sync or internal flash support, which wedding and event photographers have been quick to criticize. It's a detail that might seem small, but for professionals, it raises questions about whether Sony is fully tuned in to its hybrid audience or just focusing on checking off marketing boxes. Now the part that's really turning heads: the timeline. According to several credible sources, Sony plans to officially announce the A7V between November 12th and 15th, opening pre-orders almost immediately after. However, actual shipping isn't expected until January 2026, with some markets potentially waiting until February. Insiders attribute this to ongoing component shortages, particularly around the new sensor fabrication process and lens assembly logistics, the same issues that delayed previous Sony models. This delay could prove disastrous, especially since Canon will have its R6 Mark III in customers' hands before Christmas, flooding YouTube with side-by-side comparisons and reviews that could overshadow Sony's delayed shipments. Marketing experts are already warning that this timing could be a PR nightmare for Sony, as buyers may lose enthusiasm once holiday hype fades. Pricing further complicates the picture. The A7V body alone is expected to retail for $2,199, $200, more than the A7IV's launch price, with a kit version including the 24 105mm f4G lens priced around $3,499. Alongside the A7V, Sony is rumored to debut 3 new lenses: a 100-400mm f4G M2 at $2,800, a lightweight non-G budget 100-400mm at $2,200, and a 16-28mm f2 GM at $2,200. This suggests Sony is positioning the A7V as part of a larger professional ecosystem refresh, though the pricing indicates they're expecting early adopters to commit before reviews even drop. What's most surprising, however, is that insiders have hinted at Sony pre-planning $200 price cuts in early 2026 if shipping delays trigger frustration, a sign that the company might already be bracing for backlash. This kind of preemptive discount strategy shows a lack of confidence that's uncharacteristic for a company that used to lead innovation in the mirrorless world. The Sony A7V, as it stands, looks like a calculated move to play it safe during a turbulent market cycle, a technically polished, feature-rich, yet somewhat restrained camera that checks nearly every box without breaking new ground. It's undeniably powerful for creators seeking reliability, fast autofocus, and strong video performance. But in an industry hungry for breakthroughs like global shutter, 8K flexibility, and raw creative horsepower, the A7V might feel more like a refined A7 IV than a true next-generation flagship. Still, this model marks an important chapter in Sony's ongoing strategy, one focused on stability, hybrid workflow optimization, and user experience rather than raw innovation. Whether that's enough to satisfy enthusiasts and professionals remains to be seen. The next few weeks will be crucial as Canon, Nikon, and Panasonic prepare their own responses in what's shaping up to be one of the most competitive mirrorless showdowns in years. And as leaks continue to surface daily, one thing's for sure: the Sony A7V isn't just another upgrade. It's a clear reflection of a company trying to navigate the shifting balance between risk, innovation, and reliability in a rapidly evolving camera market.